Can you make the agreement you have with your ex about custody court ordered? Hi, I'm Alycia Kinchel, the owner of Kinchel Law, a family law practice based in the Philadelphia area. Now, a lot of times people are able to split up and work out their own custody arrangements. They don't actually need to go to court. And at times, that's not the case. And when that's not the case, attorneys like myself and the attorneys that work in my office are able to step in and help someone through that. But we often like to see that couples or ex-couples are able to come up with agreements on their own. Because as always, you know what works best for your family. You're going to know that better than any attorney coming into your case, than any judge who's going to sit and hear your case during that day. So when parties are able to come to arrangements amongst themselves, it often benefits the child and everyone involved. However, there are times when even arrangements need to have the backing of the court for enforceability. So, for example, if the parties agree that they're going to share custody, but there is no schedule, it can become difficult when one person demands physical custody at a time when the other person doesn't want to give it. And oftentimes there are changes in one of the party situations, maybe remarriage, maybe the birth of another child, maybe a move, or maybe a disagreement about where the child should go to school, that can sometimes make the agreement no longer feasible or make it difficult to enforce. And at that time, you may want to consider whether or not you need to have your agreement enforced by the court. And one way to do this, after speaking with your attorney about the facts specific to your case, you may be able to file a complaint for custody in the court in your county, and then submit the agreement that you have between the parties. Now, when you're submitting an agreement or a stipulation as to custody, you want to make sure you follow the requirements by your local court. So, for example, in Philadelphia County, they require you to file a precipice, and it has to be done a certain way. It has to be, generally, it has to include the signatures of the parties. Often it has to include the original signatures of the parties and may have to be notarized as well. The pages must be numbered, and also you need to have certain language in there. So, for example, the language regarding notice of proposed relocation has to be included in the stipulation. Now, some of these rules have been relaxed due to COVID, and the courts are accepting electronic signatures oftentimes in place of the actual wet signatures that they were requiring before, when the courts were open to the general public. So you do want to make sure that you're checking with the courts to see how those rules have changed, maybe relaxed, but you may want to make sure that you're conforming to those. But once your agreement is entered into court and the judge signs off on your agreement, if one party no longer follows that, the other party can file contempt and it can be enforced. It can also then become something that can be modifiable by a petition in court. Now, you don't necessarily need to go to a hearing if you do file your agreement prior to the date of your hearing, or if you do go to a hearing, you can agree to put your actual agreement on the record. So those are just a couple of tips about how to take your agreement that you have with the other party and make it something that the court can enforce by making an actual order. As always, you want to speak with an attorney licensed in your state about the facts specific to your case. And as I've already discussed, you want to make sure that you understand what the local rules are for your county, and also look to see how they may have changed or been adjusted due to COVID-related closures in the court. All right. As always, make sure you hit subscribe and then hit the little notification bell so that whenever we drop a brand new video, you'll get a notification and you won't miss one of our videos that we're dropping every day of 2021 on divorce, custody, and support. All right, until next time, take care.